Everyone, can't be there with you today. There's a appointment that was inflexible, and so here we are. I did promise. Please look at the Brightspace for a better breakdown of our schedule for this week. But we are starting 1.10, and as I said it before, it's a little bit of a dreary lesson, so I'll try to be as fast as I can. If there's anything that's unclear or I go a little too fast, you can always ask the substitute to pause the video so you can stop the copy, or you can go back to our Brightspace and watch this video again. I'll leave the link in our section for 1.10 and in the content section. All right. So spiraling here, spiraling, we are dealing with measures of central tendency. It is something that we haven't really talked about yet, but it does cover some things you've already done before. For example, I know for a fact that you've dealt with averages, or aka the mean. You may have also heard of the word median and the mode. You may or may not have heard of the word range in a mathematical setting, but these are things that I need to cover very quickly because these are things we are going to use to do statistics and data management in the future when we get to our level 2 and level 3 of data management or statistics. Okay, the definitions are there. Some examples are going to be covered. Then we'll do some examples using mean, median, mode, and range based on a set of data that we collect 2 times, and that's it. All right. So you'll see that everything that we do will be one set of data. Okay. Up until now, every time we talked about graphs and stuff, it was always what we call two variable data. That is, two sets of data collected and plotted. So for example, ice cream sale versus temperature. As the temperature changes, the amount of ice cream I sell or the amount of money I make will also change. Right? We are comparing one set of data to another set of data. For mean, median, and mode, typically, they are calculations we do for one variable data. So notice, for two variable data, they are typically continuous, right? Data that can be measured but not really counted per se, right? Time, height, mass, things that are measured. So we do a reading, but we don't actually count them conventionally saying, oh, there's 0, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3 of them. These kinds of things, like how many eggs in a basket, how many marbles in a bag, how many cookies you ate, is what we call discrete data. Data that is obtained by counting. So in elementary school, my grade 1 daughter is learning to read graphs, and they're saying how many people have size 6 feet, how many people have size 7 feet. That's counting, right? It's the categories are fixed, and we're literally going 1, 2, 3, 4, blah blah blah. Not measured. Okay, so we are looking at one variable data to calculate mean, median, mode. Up until now, we've been doing two variable data, but both can reveal different types of information for us. So it's good to know both of them. All right. So in general, one variable data is usually discrete because we count, and two variable data is usually counting a relationship or measuring a relationship. So we sort of observe how two different things act together. Okay? So let's talk about this. When we have one variable data, it is often analyzed by talking about a mean, or the average, the median, the number that is exactly in the middle of all the data, so what we call 50th percentile, I guess, generally speaking. The mode, which is which one shows up the most often, and then the range, which means what is the spread between the lowest and the highest number. Okay? These are called central tendencies. Okay? Average is the central tendency of what's the typical, what's the expected value. Median is what's the middle value. Mode is what's the most common value. They are all different ways of talking about something. All right? So descriptive statistics, 3 main types. There is a way to calculate distribution, there is a way to calculate central tendency and another way to calculate variability. We're going to focus on central tendencies today. Here we go. Take a look. The data set of student math scores from Ms. Wong's previous grade 9 class are below. We've got 97, 90, 82, blah, blah, blah. If you want to analyze and calculate mean median mode, it is most efficient to write this in numerical order. So here, a lot of students make careless mistakes because they forget a number. I recommend writing the number and then crossing it out. And then find the next smallest number, crossing it out. Find the next smallest number, cross it out, and repeat. So it'll be 66, 72, 75, and 79. 2 81s. 82, 88, 90, and 97. Okay, there it is. Determine the following and provide a brief explanation of what your answer represents. Make sure you show your work. So mean is literally the sum of all data divided by count or number of data values. Okay, so in this case, I'm literally going to add everything above, and I am lazy, so I am going to do this. And that is going to be divided by how many I have. That's 1 student, 2 student, 4 students, 6 students, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. 13 students. Taking out my trusty calculator. If you want to follow with me, that's great, but I'll do that for us because it's the video. 50 plus 55, 57, 66, 72, 75, 79, 81, 81, 80, 90, 97. That is divided by 13. I get 74.25. Okay, what does this mean? Going back to the definition, essentially you can say the mean is the average or the expected value of the entire class in general. So if I were to pick a random number, it will hover around the 74% range. It won't be too far from it. It won't be like 0. It wouldn't be like 120, right? It would be closer to 74 typically. So 74.25% is the expected or typical mark of the class. Okay, the overall. Median takes a little bit of work. The median is what the middle value is, the 50th percentile, not 50%, but the 50th rank, 50th percent rank of all of it. So if we have, let's say, this is 1 person, that is 1 person. That is 2 persons, 2 persons. That is 3, that is 4, that is 3, that is 4, 5, and 6, 5, and 6. The middle person is 79. So if you scored 79, you would be right in the middle of the class. Half the class is under you, half the class is above you. Notice how 79 is higher than the average. So if you want to talk about a typical mark your class, a student in the class could get, it would be 74. But if you're talking about who got exactly in between all the members of the class, that would be 79. Okay? The number, the score, where exactly half the class is below it and half the class is above. Okay? Mode. Mode talks about which one of these marks is the most common. And in this case, the only number that shows up more than once is 81. Okay? So I'll say the score of 81 shows up the most in the data set. it is the most common mark of the data set. Is it always like this? No. I could technically, it would be possible that I have, three 99s. However, I could have I could have a 0, a 1%, and a 2%, which balances out the three 99s, right? So it really depends on your data set, which one of these three measures of central tendency is the most reflective of my result. And that requires a skilled eye and some experience. Here we go. Range. Range is the difference between the highest and the lowest. So it's 47. That means all data sets or marks fall within a spread of 47 marks. That's all it means. The lowest mark is 50, highest mark is 97. The difference between the highest and the lowest is 47. And that's mean, median, mode, and range. Okay. Let's leave this here, and I'm going to ask the substitute to pause. If all the students in the class could take exactly 5 minutes, maybe less, depending on how chatty you guys get, 5 minutes to organize Miss Tang's recorded student scores from their most recent science test and determine what the mean, median, mode, and range would be. Okay? So please pause the video and go ahead. Assuming that you have paused the video and now you're playing it again, I'm going to go about and do the entire thing as well. That's 42, 55, I believe the next number is 66, then 74, then 75, then 77, 77, 77. I already know what the mode is going to be. 80. Ooh, no. 78, 80, 85, 86, 91, 92, 98, 100, 100. 91, 92, 98, 100, 100. Perfect. Mean. So the average is going to be 42 plus 55 plus blah, 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 plus 100 plus 100, all divided by, how many students is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, all divided by 17. 42, 55, 66, 74, 75, 77, 77, 78, 80, 92, 98, 100, 100. So assuming I didn't do anything wrong, and if I did, I'm sorry, I'm just going to move on with the video, but I think I got it. Rounded, this is 79.53. So the average, or the typical expected, right? All the marks hover around 79.5. Or that's what we want to say. Median. Median would be the exact middle. So since there's 17, there must be a number with 8 people on one side, 8 people on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the lower block. Oops, sorry about that. That's the lower block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the upper block. And the number right in the middle is 78. The mode, 77 occurs 3 times. So 77. And the range, 100 minus 42 is 58. Okay? All the marks fall within 58% of each other. So once again, what does it mean? I talked about the mean. The median is, it is the score that has exactly half the class underneath it and half the class above it. The mode would be which one happens the most often. So in this case, they're all pretty similar, right? So all three of them are fairly good at representing what the central tendency of this data set is. And that's it. This seems simple enough, right? However, especially the median, things get a little bit weird, and so you must be really comfortable with the median. I'm going to put a little star next to that one because, oh man, when we get cycle around, when we spiral around to get to level 2 and level 3 for statistics, yeah, just know, practice, don't underestimate it. Just practice like you really want to get 100% here. Okay, don't leave any carelessness. So for homework, going back, I've already written it down. Homework is 1 to 3 as mild, 45, and then 6 to 7 being spicy. Hope you can do that and finish it before class ends today. And I'll see you tomorrow. All right, don't give the substitute teacher a hard time. Please try to keep the chatter to a minimum. Ethan, don't make your voice get too high. Connor, simmer down. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.